Mr. Douglas Foo.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would first like to declare my interest as the President of the Singapore Manufacturing Federation, Vice Chairman of Singapore Business Federation, and the Vice President of Singapore National Employees Federation. I rise to affirm my support for the recently delivered Singapore Budget 2019 and to provide a response from the business community. On behalf of the manufacturing community in Singapore, I applaud the government's recognition of the contributions of the manufacturing sector to the economy. In addition, the three trade associations and chambers that I represent are also pleased that the government has also recognized the important role played by the trade association chambers. I wish to affirm that the TACs, as partners in nation building, remains committed to the cause of enhancing the business community's capabilities and look forward to continuing its stellar collaborative relations with our members, government agencies, both local and overseas, as well as our labour movement and TUC. Minister Heng's speech on enterprise and workforce transformation lends governmental support to the beliefs that the TACs have been advancing to our members and to the work we do over the last few years. For example, the SMF has programs to actively assist the manufacturing community in the three trusts defined in the budget for moving the Singapore economy forward. Some of these programs are deep enterprise capabilities. Our SME centres at SMF has proved to be an effective partner to SMEs seeking customized advice and guidance on the latest government grants, to give our SMEs better opportunities of success. We therefore eagerly await the additional 200 million in funding for the SMEs expected to be brought in by the SME Co-Investment Fund 3. Deep worker capabilities. The SMF currently administers two types of the PCPs, the Professional Conversion Program Broad-Based Manufacturing and the Professional Conversion Program PCP Overseas. I'm pleased to report that under these two programs, the SMF has assisted close to 1,200 workers on their professional conversion journey as at January 2019. The SMF is therefore excited with the announcement of two further PCP programs and stand ready to collaborate with government agencies on them. The Practicing Management Consultants. As the leading certification body for the practicing management consultants, the SMF provides a certification process to train and enable workers, especially the PMATs, undergoing a career change to be professionally certified as consultants. The total number of PMCs certified by SMF, Singapore PMC certification, currently stands at over 500. Following certification, these consultants are then better able to assist SMEs, identify issues in business processes, and the right of support they can receive from the government, as well as to bring them on the internationalization efforts. The SMF has signed more than 180 MOUs with local and overseas TACs and government agencies for better collaboration on a commercial development. The Enterprise Europe Network Representative Office in Singapore, tasked with bringing local companies closer to doing business with EU companies, has between 2016 and 2018 organized 56 brokerage events and signed 25 EEM partnership agreements. It currently has 200 active businesses on the network. The SMF regularly leads member delegations to local and overseas trade exhibitions. In 2018, the SMF led more than 600 enterprises to participate in 41 trade exhibitions, securing trade sales of over 222.3 million. We welcome the support that the government is pledging to transform the industry further under Budget 2019 towards Industrial 4.0 standards. In this regard, SMF has taken the initiative to develop a manufacturing digital plan to assist SMEs on their transformation journey. In 2019, we will continue our focus on assisting companies to digitalize and sooner realize Industrial 4.0. We have since launched the Go Digital project management services to help SMEs that want to go digital take their first step to digitalization. Under the program, SMEs can tap on mentors to help them deploy technology. The support announced by Minister Heng will go a long way towards facilitating the process. These are just some examples of how trade association chambers can contribute effectively to bring the business community in line with the government's vision and thereby creating a united Singapore. The SMF, SBF, and SMEF have a very healthy collaborative relationship and support one another in our respective efforts and stand strongly ready to work with NTUC and the labour movement. TACs are not in competition with one another, and like businesses, more can be done when acting in concert when there are greater resources to draw from. I would therefore like to call on TACs to further break down individual walls and work with one another to accelerate our common national interest. Mr. Speaker, Mandarin, please. 在区域范围内，我作为亚细安商业咨询委理事会的3名新加坡委派代表之一，以商界一直认为，政府在本预算案中十分正确地辨识出亚细安作为我们本地企业应考虑扩大贸易的一个区域的机会。随着亚细安经济共同体 AEC 2025年蓝图战略的形成，新加坡企业需要更好地界定我们竞争空间，并充分运用亚细安为经济体的潜力。按 GDP 计算，亚细安在2017年已超越英国，目前是世界第5大经济体。随着亚细安经济共同体 AEC 蓝图的制定，亚细安实际上做好了以其 GDP 实力在2030年成为全球第4大经济体的准备。许多因素对亚细安的经济有利，例如，首先，在2015年，亚细安人口年龄中为数为28.9岁，与较发达国家相比，例如美国的40.8岁和中国的36岁，这是一支相对年轻的劳动队伍。其次，城市化率的提高推动了经济增长。亚细安的城市化预计在2030年将达到55.8%，比2010年的40.5%上升约12%。第三，根据亚细安开发银行的估计，到了2030年，亚细安大约在65%的人口将被列入中等收入阶级，高于2010年的29%。随着收入的增长，生活水平也会提高，因此亚细安将成为重要的商业市场。这些都将在短短10年的时间内发生，这给我们新加坡企业在家门口带来许多机会。因此，我们的企业越来越迫切需要向价值链上游发展，创造更高的价值产出，更重要是将自己的地位定为通往亚细安其他国家的门户。数码化和工业4.0是前进的道路，而透过不同的财政配套和互助计划，政府确实在帮助我们的企业前进。Mr. Speaker, sir. My speech today would be incomplete if I do not talk about the main concern that the business community has in relation to Budget 2019. The foreign workforce policy to reduce the dependency ratio ceiling in the service sector is definitely something that businesses are very concerned about. Businesses can appreciate the policy reasons for such cuts. For example, with the declining birth rate in Singapore, having a continued inflow of foreign manpower at the current or increased rate may eventually result in a Singapore with more foreigners than locals. Businesses also note that the reduction is being rolled out progressively over 2 years to cushion the harshness of such a reduction. However, the fears and the difficulties for businesses have already begun. Firstly, businesses already have to deal with global trading uncertainty, rapid changes in technology, and business models changes, as well as changes in legislation. For example, last year, changes were made to the Employment Act provided more protection and welfare for employees, but incurs additional costs for businesses. Secondly, the services industry, such as the food and beverage industry, relies on unique and familiar experiences to attract new customers and retain old ones. Building a relationship with customers takes time, as do training. Being able to attract new local workers with more welfare demands and higher costs is yet another aspect which these businesses have to deal with. For these businesses, no matter how technology may elevate operation demands, a lack of readily available human resource, which will invariably in turn drive up already increasing labour costs, will work in tandem to drive businesses out of Singapore or out of business altogether. It is in this context that I would like to caution against an over-reliance on legislation for more and more rules. Members have in recent debates before this House lobbied for mandatory progressive wage models, elder care leave and flexible work arrangements. While all these are indeed legitimate interests which enterprises are also concerned about, legislating them may not necessarily be the best way forward. I would like to humbly urge this House to better support the efforts of the tripartite collaboration and the Ministry of Manpower's efforts to promote a strong culture of shared responsibility rather than to adopt a legalistic and prescriptive approach. On the part of TACs, we will continue to urge companies to move towards their digitalization journey with greater alacrity to adapt to staffing realities. However, as labour demands vary with each industry across different time periods, I will urge the Ministry to consider adopting a flexible policy of review closer to when the cuts are to be made effective, or to allow flexibility to consider on a case-by-case basis where the labour needs of the individual businesses. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, the business community is of the opinion that this budget is a forward-looking budget, preparing and galvanizing Singapore businesses for the challenges and opportunities ahead. It is encouraging that there is increased focus at the micro level, with support to accelerate the adoption of innovative solutions, building of global partnerships, upscaling of the workforce, and business transformation. It is pro-business, pro-worker, and we look forward to a strong, united Singapore. With that, I affirm my support for the Budget Statement 21-9. Thank you very much.